Who exactly do I mean when I refer to the elites? Because we need to talk about the elite and their role in everything that we see happening in the world around us, but we need to be very precise about who they are. Now, I'm not referring to a secret lizard people or shadowy fantasy groups. It's something far more mundane, but then far more dangerous. By elite, I mean a relatively small group of people who hold a disproportionate economic, political, and cultural power. They sit on top of the finance structures, the supranational institutions, corporate lobbying groups, legacy wealth creation, and the policy shaping organisations that we see right across the West. These people move easily between the government, NGOs, global forums, and boardrooms. And none of this is hidden. It's all documented and it's all very normalised. But crucially, they're not us, yeah? They're not the descendants of miners or factory workers. They're not the descendants of press sailors or conscripts or field labourers. Many of these elites are the actual historical beneficiaries of the age of empire, plantations, monopolies and exploitation. The people who truly profited from the slavery and colonial extraction didn't vanish. They compounded that wealth, they passed it down and they institutionalised it. And now, generations later, that same wealth is being concentrated, consciously or unconsciously, but I suggest consciously, to dismantle the very societies that allowed it to exist in the first place. Why? Well, motives differ. Some believe that the West is morally illegitimate and needs to be destroyed. Some people believe that population needs to be managed and they've got the solution of how to achieve that. And then others still will see that nations, borders and traditions are all obstacles to implement their new global systems. And then finally, another group will just be purely in it for the profit because they will benefit from instability, dependency and endless reform. Nonetheless, the outcome for these people is always the same. They want to see a weakening of these shared identities that we across the West have. They want to see a breakdown of trust. They want to see an erosion of national cohesion. And they also want to promote endless guilt without responsibility and power without accountability. Now, on top of this elite, there's then a sub-elite or a secondary class. The hangers-on. These are your careerists, the activists, bureaucrats, media figures and influencers. And they all gain status, money or moral validation by carrying water for ideas that undermine the inheritance that their own ancestors actually struggled to build. They're selling out themselves and their souls for a seat at somebody else's table. And it's a table that they will never be truly a member of. When we criticise the elites, we're not attacking wealth or success or intelligence. We're pointing out a divergence of interests. You see, our ancestors built societies that were meant to be lived in. These people treat societies as systems to be managed. And if we don't understand that difference calmly, rationally, and without hysteria, then we will keep blaming ourselves for the damage that we didn't cause, while the people who benefit most from the wreckage remain untouched.